Good morning, everyone. Cheryl, please take the roll.
Marsico.
Here.
Fox. Roxy. Delozer. Everett.
Here.
Rose on leave. Hackett.
Here.
Dozmak.
Here.
Keller.
Here.
Krieger.
Here.
Nesbitt.
Here.
Regan.
Here.
Saccone is proxy. Stevens.
Here.
Topol. Here. Toohill. Here. Burr.
Here.
Perka.
Here.
Garvin.
Here.
Pizarro.
Here.
Briggs.
Here.
Costa.
Here.
Davis. Here. Dean. Here. Miller. Bullery. Newman.
Here.
Rozzi.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Michelle. The meeting is being recorded. Please silence your cell phones. We have 4 bills to consider today. We're going to go over Representative Newman's bill, House Bill 272, while staff works with Representative Newman and interested groups on refining the bill further. Representative Newman has agreed to that and look forward to reading the bill in April or March or April. The first bill we're going to call up is House Bill 73. Representative Farry and Council Dalton want to explain the bill. Council Dalton.
House Bill 73 is a redraft of House Bill 1874 from last session. The House passed that bill by a vote of 179 to 0 last session. House Bill 73 amends 42 PAHC Section 9799.36 in order to require the providers of counseling services to sexually violent predators to notify law enforcement annually of the provision of the services. Notifications must be submitted in writing by January 15th of each year under the Sexual Offender Registration Act, more commonly known as the Adam Walsh Act. Sexually violent predators must receive counseling once per month. Specifically, the legislation states that providers shall notify the district attorney and the chief law enforcement officer of the municipality where the provider is located that the provider is counseling sexually violent predators. If no municipal police jurisdiction exists, the provider must notify the state police. There are no amendments, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Council Dalton. Representative Farry, would you like to comment on your bill? I think there's a microphone there. The other ones are under the table here for some reason.
Thank you, Chairman. As Karen said, this bill passed this committee unanimously last session and also passed the House unanimously last session. It did die in the Senate. This issue arose from what is now part of my old district, where there was a counseling center. Nobody was aware they were operating, and one of the offenders, by happenstance, got lost and asked for directions, and that's how the community became aware that sexually violent predators were coming into the community for counseling. So it's not overly burdensome or onerous. It's just making sure the district attorney and local law enforcement knows where these counseling centers are located.
Any questions? Members? Seeing none, moved by Chairman Petrarca and second by Representative Keller. Any negative votes? Seeing none, bill's moved out. Congratulations again. Next bill is House Bill 186, Representative Hackett's bill. Council Dalton is going to explain the bill.
House Bill 186 is a redraft of House Bill 2464 from last session, but with a minor change. Last session, this bill passed the House by a vote of 198 to 0. The House Bill 186 amends the Crime Victims Act in order to enhance the ability of a victim to attend criminal trials. Under the bill, victims have a right not to be excluded from criminal proceedings unless the court finds that the testimony of the victim would be materially altered if the victim heard other testimony at the proceeding. Last session, this bill included juvenile proceedings. Because there are rules of court that address victim attendance at juvenile proceedings, that language is not included this session. In 2011, the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania adopted court rules to ensure that the victim receives notice of juvenile proceedings and has an opportunity to attend those proceedings. House Bill 186 is modeled after the Federal Crime Victims Bill of Rights. The federal standard provides that a victim has a right not to be excluded from a trial unless the court determines that testimony of the victim will be materially altered if the victim heard other testimony. Mr. Chairman, there are no amendments.
Representative Hackett for comments on your bill.
Thank you, Chairman. And I would like to thank both Chairman and the committee for considering this bill again. Last session, this bill did win over the vote 198-0. It did go to the Senate, and they ran out of time, weren't able to consider that. This bill came about when the Women Against Rape came and spoke to me, and there was concerns that because the victims were being sequestered at certain times, that the impression gave to the jurors that the victim did not care about the outcome of the case. So thank you very much for considering it again this year.
Questions?
Good.
Got to look around here. It's way down there to the left, way down there to the right. Any questions? None? Moved by Chairman Petrarca, second by Representative Toohill. Any negative votes? Seeing none, bill is moved out. Congratulations, Representative Hackett. Next bill is House Bill 446. Marcico is the prime sponsor. Council Kane is going to explain the bill.
Mr. Chairman, House Bill 446 will require a sentencing court to impose a mandatory 3-year period of probation to run consecutively to any lawful sentence imposed by the court for a defendant convicted of a Tier 3 sex offense under the Pennsylvania Adam Walsh Act. The purpose of the probationary tail is to ensure that no serious sex offender maxes out his sentence and therefore is released without any supervision. The court would retain the authority to order supervision by the PA Board of Probation and Parole. This bill was introduced last session as House Bill 2465 and was reported out of the committee unanimously and passed unanimously by the House. There are no amendments.
Thank you, Council Kane. Like you said, this bill was passed out of committee in last session, so appreciate your support. Any questions? Moved by Chairman Petrarca, second by Representative Costa. Any negative votes? Bill is moved out. Thank you. Last bill is House Bill 164, Representative Stevens' bill. Council Kane is going to explain the bill.
Mr. Chairman, House Bill 164 amends Title 18, Section 5511 regarding cruelty to animals by adding a new subsection to establish the offense of possession of animal fighting paraphernalia. Animal fighting paraphernalia would be defined as any device, implement, object, facility, space, or drug used or intended to be used for animal fighting, to train an animal for animal fighting, or in furtherance of the crime of animal fighting. In determining whether such an item is animal fighting paraphernalia, the finder of fact would be instructed to consider various factors such as the proximity of the item to the scene of the violation, instructions for use of the item, admissions by the owner, etc. Possession of animal fighting paraphernalia would be a misdemeanor of the 3rd degree, subjecting the offender to up to 1 year in jail and a $2,500 fine. This bill was also introduced last session as House Bill 164 and passed the House unanimously, and there is one amendment.
Go to explain the amendment.
The amendment just updates the bill's language by adding a reference to a bill that was passed at the end of last session that's referred to as the Cost of Care of Seized Animals Act. That act allows recovery by an agency that seizes an animal that's the victim of animal fighting to recover the cost of caring for the animal from the owner of the animal. So we're amending the bill to include a reference to that new addition to the law that was enacted last session.
Representative Stevens for comments on the amendment and the bill.
Just want to thank the chairman for bringing this bill up again. Hopefully we can get it through the Senate this time and across the finish line. Thank you.
Questions on the amendment? Seeing none, moved by Chairman Petrarca, second by Representative Stevens. On the amendment, any negative votes? Seeing none, the amendment's adopted. On the bill as amended, any questions? Moved by Chairman Petrarca, second by Representative Keller. Any negative votes? Bill is moved out, amended. Congratulations. I think we're finished. Thank you for being here.